Evangeline, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. And just you've inspired me to put on my own glasses as well
Oh,
because
great. We'll be matching.
we'll be matching.
Winning.
I wanted to start off and ask you. I mean, this is now the third Ant-Man film, and obviously you're in Avengers Endgame and what have you. But I'm wondering, I mean, when you're playing a character this long, I mean, I suppose you have experience from Lost and whatever. How do you, I guess, keep the character fresh in your mind? How do you kind of get excited about it when you've played this character so often?
Yeah. Well, it was definitely harder to keep it fresh on Lost. There was a lot more content and
Yeah,
a lot more days of shooting, and it was
sure.
nonstop for 6 years. This one's been going on and off for 8 years, which is crazy to me that we have gone longer now than I was on the run of the show of Lost. Um, and for me, I'm able to come back to it, thankfully, with a very new perspective every time because hope changes so much from film to film. And that's been really refreshing for me to be able to play. It's also somewhat difficult for me to play because half the time I don't really understand who she is or where she is or what's going on with her. There isn't a ton of time for character stuff in these movies. You know, the character storylines are important, but they really do take the backseat to the CGI and the amazing action scenes and the fighting, and that's what people come to superhero movies to see. So I don't always feel super clear on where she is, but at least I'm not bored of where she is. That's the advantage.
Yeah. Do you find, I mean, you've mentioned there like the action and the CGI and stuff. I mean, I think we kind of talked about it before on the last film, but I mean, I know a lot of actors when they come to do like stuff in the volume or when they do blue screen and stuff, they try to kind of equate it to like, black box or experimental theater, the
Mm.
idea of their imagination has to fill in the blanks. For you, I mean, do you find it a struggle or is it very natural for you to kind of go into that imagined space?
No, I don't like it at all. I hear other actors talking about it in this like beautifully sophisticated way as though it's just theater, darling. You just have to imagine
Yeah.
you're on stage and there's nothing around you. And I go, bullshit, that is hard work. This is something that we don't have to just have. So in theater, you imagine what's going on around you, and then you fall into that world and it becomes real. And for an hour or 2 hours, you suspend that reality and then it's over. It's not like that making a movie. Making a
No.
movie, you're going to say that same line 6 times, 10 times, 15 times in a row while trying to hold that world in your consciousness, while they call cut every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, depending on how long the scene is, every 1 minute, depending on how long the scene is. And then you have to sort of reset every time. And okay, right. So we stopped, we talked about it. I got my notes. Now I have to reimagine the world and reimagine the characters. And now they've moved that creature who was there over here because it didn't work for the shot. And now I have to remember not to look there, but to look here. And it's not like theater at all. I call bunk on that theory. It's hard work.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine then that you're just clinging on to dear life for the other human actor that's beside you then or whoever you're talking to, yeah?
Yes,
Does
like,
that
oh,
then give you like a much bigger connection with them then, I suppose?
um, it can. It can. It depends on the performer and it depends on how they approach it. So no two performers are necessarily always going to approach a green screen scene in the same way. So
Mm.
sometimes it can be your greatest ally and your greatest advantage. Sometimes it can be just one more factor that you're trying to keep in mind and adjust to and accommodate for because it's different and you're bumping up against each other in a way that's like, oh, this doesn't jive. Okay, well, how am I going to adjust for that? Um, so yeah, I mean, acting is so different from actor to actor.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, you're not really selling green screen as a
No,
kind of
I'm
as
not.
an acting
I am
process.
advocating for the volume because I loved being in the volume. I loved having the world around me and having it built. But the volume is very expensive technology. So if I don't tell everyone in the world, including yourself, the volume is the best way to make a Marvel movie, they'll probably never do it again.
You've sold it. You've sold it to me now, definitely. Yeah, you've
Right.
definitely sold it to me now. Great stuff. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thanks, Evangeline.
So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.